Damien ruins horror movies.
Ass, you practically scared me to death.
What? I'm sorry.
Hey, what happened? Did you see me?
No, it's just Tim scaring me.
You are such a dick, Tim.
Jack,
Oh,
that's
really,
right.
no,
Hey,
it's so typical of you, Tim.
Quit screwing around, damn it. This is
You
serious
know, I
business.
think
It's time for another episode of Damien Ruins Horror Movies with your host, Damien. That's me. Yeah, cool intro, huh? And right now, if you haven't subscribed and you're watching this, you need to subscribe because I'm only 952 subscriptions away from my goal, woo, of 1,000. And I hope this light right here isn't too annoying. Hopefully I'm seeing what you're seeing, and to me it doesn't look that bad. Although it ruins the poster a little bit. And check it out, this shirt got from Gutter Garbs, and they are so cool. Because I had a problem, not with them, but I just moved recently, as I've mentioned in previous episodes. And there was something, it was a lot my fault, but also kind of the mailman's fault too, because there was a form I was supposed to fill out and leave in the box. My understanding was I was supposed to leave it in the box. But apparently that was telling the mailman that if it was there, that meant nobody lived there. So I wasn't getting mail, and I'm following, there's an app where you can follow Gutter Garbs, like the whole tracking thing, instead of like having to log in every time, you just have the app. So I'm following, it's like, all right, any day now. And then it said that it was out for delivery, and I checked the mail and the box is empty. I'm like, where's my shirts? They're supposed to be there. And then like 20 minutes later on the app, it said, failed. And I was like, motherfucker. Because it's hard because I don't get a lot of mail. So it's kind of hard when you go somewhere. It's hard to tell if you're like deliberately not getting mail. Like you have mail and they're not delivering it because they don't know you're there. Or if it's just, it's just a normal 3 days where you don't get mail. For me, it's like 3 days without mail is not weird to me. It is now I'm paranoid. But I got an email from Gutter Garbs, and they were like, well, we got your shirts back. Are you still interested? And I was like, yeah. I had a problem with the mail, because the mailman didn't even look. They didn't even quite I have a package. It goes here. This thing's here. I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to see that somebody hand wrote their name and it matches the name of the package, so maybe I should put it in the fucking box. I'm just going to, green paper, keep going. They sent it all the way back to New York. And Gutter Garbs. And it was on sale. It was the Memorial Day sale. So the shirts they're normally like $27 a piece, which I think is too much. And they don't sponsor me, so I can say that. $27, and it's not just them. All shirts online, I've bitched about this before, sell their shirts for like $27 each. Like, it's a fucking shirt. What are you doing? Although they do have really soft shirts. I like this movie. Best slasher movie I ever made. I'm still sticking to that. And if you don't believe me, or you don't believe it, go watch the movie, go watch my review. It's I don't know what number it is. So they sent me an email saying, are you interested in the shirt? We had a problem delivering. And I was like, fuck, yes, I am. My mailman's an idiot. I put all the blame on the mailman. And can you resend it to the same address that I'd given you the first time? I can pay shipping and handling again. Then they responded, said, we'll resend it. Don't worry about the shipping and handling. And at first the bill had showed it was like one of the shirts wasn't on sale anymore. It's like, oh, they're not going to honor the sale. But after what I'd been through, I was like, I'm not going to bother if I end up paying. But it ended up, they honored the sale. They honored the original shipping and handling. They're totally cool. They took care of me. So if you're interested in shirts, also follow them on Facebook. There's other ways to follow them. But if you follow them, then you're privy to the sales. They're probably going to have a 4th of July sale. So jump on it now. Get it so that you get the notifications so you can get the cheap shirts. Because they have good deals. It's not on all of them. It's select shirts. But this was a select shirt, and it's a pretty cool shirt. I wanted a Summer Party Massacre shirt for a while, so style it. And they're soft. They look good. They're really soft material. They're really comfortable. They hug your bodies. They do the 50-50 cotton nylon thing. So they're awesome shirts. They're not worth $27, but they're pretty nice shirts. They're better than like the 50-50 shirts that if you go to Target you can get. They're better than that. but they're not twice as good as those, which is what they cost. They cost over twice as much as those. But they're nice. They're good novelties. And like, if you see one you really want, it's worth $27 if there's just one you want. But if you want like I'm gonna have a bunch of horror movie shirts, that's not the way to go. Fucking $200 on like 6 shirts. I mean, I don't know what I'm not judging. Maybe that's cheap. I don't know. People spend $300 on pants. I think $20 on pants is like a good deal. Like jeans. $30, I'm like, I don't know. How long are they gonna last? $30? Fuck. I'm not cheap though, I'm poor. It's the difference. Cheap people could buy whatever they want. They just choose not to. I'm poor, I can't afford that shit. So I don't do it. Alright, let's get to the movie. The movie. Not The Intruder. The Intruder is one that just came out recently. I don't know, it came out in like 2018, maybe 2019. I don't know. It's pretty recent. I'm not even sure if it's a horror movie. This is not that. This is the classic. I can't say it's a classic because I don't know if anybody's heard of it. Which is kind of strange. Kind of strange, kind of not. I don't know. It's an 80s thing. It came out in 1989, directed by Scott Spiegel. And it's a little gem. I found it on Netflix a long time ago when I first got Netflix. I was just kind of flipping around. I was like, Intruder, what's this? And I checked it out and I was like, all right, I'll watch this. It's late 80s. Let's see what's going on here. The film opens, it's nighttime. It's 15 minutes before Walnut Lake Market is going to close for the night. And the cashier, Jennifer, just funny, her name's Jennifer Ross. That's my sister's name, first and last. Not to give her away, but it was kind of funny. It's like, this is Jennifer Ross. Like, hey, that's my name. She's a cashier, and she is at work in the register, and this guy, guy looks a little bit off. He's got his white t-shirt and black leather jacket on. The guy I was looking for pictures of, like, a couple weeks ago when I did Nightbreed, and I was like, yeah, from 85 to 90, this is what rebels look like. They look just like this guy, and I couldn't find any picture. All the pictures I found were dudes in black shirts. Turns out Dalton in Roadhouse was wearing a black t-shirt when he was wearing a t-shirt. And everything else, like, what happened to the rebels? I remember them all wearing white shirts. I mean, it would have been a lot easier if I was like in the 50s, they wore white shirts, because they did. Maybe the rebel thing to do from 85 to 90 was to wear black shirts, but I swear they wore white shirts too. I couldn't find one picture of Johnny Depp in a white t-shirt. Johnny Depp was always wearing white t-shirts. So he comes walking in. His name's Craig. Walks in, kind of creepy, kind of weird. Walks up to the register. And Jennifer's like, oh God. Because it turns out this guy is Jennifer's ex-boyfriend. And he's like, and he just got out of prison. He's been locked up. I'm just going to forward the story a little bit. They used to go out. It wasn't working, which is funny because like her and all her coworkers look maybe about college age. You know, they look like they're out of high school, but not probably, you know, first, second year of college, you know, maybe 20 years old. This guy looks roughly 30. This guy kind of looks like how Fonzie looked compared to everybody else on Happy Days, where they're all like teenagers and Fonzie's like this old dude. Where it's like Fonzie's all cool and everything, but it's like, shouldn't you be somewhere else, not hanging at the diner with fucking high school kids? It's kind of weird. Yeah, you can start the jukebox by kicking it or snapping your fingers or whatever the fuck you did. But shouldn't you be at a different stage of your life than these kids? So he walks in and he's trying to win back Jennifer's love. Which is kind of a weird thing. It's a weird priority. You get right out of jail. You're free. The first thing you do is you go to your girlfriend's work 15 minutes before they close. Where it's like, what were you doing the rest of the day? They released you from prison at 10:30 at night. Took you 15 minutes to get here, and now you're here. You're like, oh. And he's like, bitch, it's like, I wrote you all those letters. He's like, my hand is cramped from all the letters I wrote you. Or No. He said, I have a gimpy hand from all the letters I wrote you, and you never wrote me back. And she's like, yeah. So it turns out he got locked up because it wasn't working out. They were like, I don't know if it was, I'm assuming it's a bar, but I don't think she's old enough to be in a bar. But she's like, tried to break it off. She wanted to break it off with him in public. That way he couldn't, run into her house and like gonna kill her. So he does, or she does, but then he gets all pissed and the bouncer came up and yada, yada, yada. He ends up killing the bouncer. And that's why he got locked up. But he only got locked up for like a year. And now he's out. And now he's at her work. And she's like, I'm not into you. He's like, well, I want to buy a pack of cigarettes. And it's funny because she's like, okay, that'll be $1.35. Which to me, it's like, dude, you paid $1.35 for cigarettes? Fuck, call it a win and go home. So she gets on her little phone and calls for backup. And they pan like off in the distance, and you can see like the little holes in the back wall of the store. And it's funny because I forgot about those. Do they still have those? It's that little, there's like the little office, the stairs where the workers can go. And it's like this little box where they can look down at the store. And I think they have cameras too, but they have like, they can, like there's somebody, like there's securities up there and they can watch the store like in real time and be like, uh-oh, somebody's doing that over there. I need to get over there. Then they run down. I haven't seen that in a long time. That's such a 1989 thing to do. So she calls for backup. But before the backup can get there, he starts getting a little rough with her, a little aggressive. And it's hard to tell, but by the sound, it sounds like he fucking smacks her. And she kind of stumbles, and the rest of the coworkers come up and the owner. And now all of a sudden, it's Craig versus everybody. And Craig ain't backing down, which is, it's a weird move. It's like, I just got out of prison. I think I'll go get in a brawl. Me against 5 people. And Craig's like just going, he's taking his shots, he's getting them too. And finally, Sam Raimi comes walking by. Innocent bystander. I mean, he works at the store too. But he's just walking, and Craig's like, grabs him, like kind of huffs him toward his coworkers, and then bails, and they're like, oh, he's gone. And then they all stop because they're all just like, what the fuck just happened? Who is that guy? And they're trying to assess the situation because they're trying to close. The cinematography in this movie it's weird and awesome at the same time. It's like, I don't know if Spiegel's responsible for it or who it is, but you could tell like this person, maybe they were limited by their talent, their skill, or the technology at the time. But you could tell that like this guy has potential to make good movies. He just has this weird thing. It just didn't, there's a lot of things with this movie that just don't work. But at the same time, this movie is a hidden gem. It's a great fucking movie. I love it. This is a total like drink beer with your friends in their basement and watch this movie and laugh. Because it is funny. The fight scenes are ridiculous. Because they're terrible, but good at the same time. It's just like, I don't know, this is like B horror, this is like B plus horror. Where it's like, oh yeah, this is good. It's relatable. This is also one where it's like, I can relate to this killer. I've known girls like that. This is exactly what I want to do. So the search for Craig begins. And while they're all searching for him, Jen gets on the phone and calls the police. And then Craig comes back. He's like, I never got my change. And she's like, ah. But it's also funny because while all the other people are like looking for him and they're in this tense situation, they're also like scaring each other. But scaring each other doesn't lead to jump scares, which is kind of weird because normally the point of the cast scaring each other, or not the cast, but the characters scaring each other, is to provide those jump scares. But instead they're just like, blah! And you're like, as a viewer, you're like, I scared that guy. So you never think it's Craig. They're like for 1 out of every 5 times somebody scares somebody, you think, oh, is that Craig? But for the most part, you're like, oh no, he's scaring him. Eventually, Dave, Danny, and Bill are the owners. Dave's just another worker. they come up on Craig and they all three grab him. They throw him outside. They're like, gotcha. Fuck out of here. Stay out there. And, problem solved. They lock everything up. Once they get Craig out of there, everybody kind of like adjusts back to normal pretty quickly. And Danny and Bill have a little meeting and lets everybody know that, hey, we appreciate your guys' help. And we want you guys to stay all night to help mark everything at half price because we've been bought out and this is it. In a little while, you guys are all going to have to look for another job. This is what pisses me off when people don't think about this. Walnut Lake Market is a local business. And people are always saying, support local business. Support local business. Go there. Local businesses usually charge more for the same products. It's not the same thing as like a guy who makes his own stuff. Like supporting online stuff, like Gutter Guards, I consider that like a local business. It's just it's online, it doesn't have a shop where it has to pay rent all the time. But it's like, okay, I'll support you guys, but I want to keep it within my thing, within my budget. But all the support business, they're gonna go out of business if you don't go and take care of them, and they need your money. It's like, well, are they gonna take care of me? Because you know what a lot of them do? They're like, oh, corporations are evil, corporations are bad, local business good, do as much as you can, go there. And I understand with like local farming and everything, I'm all for that. But otherwise, you're just like, help this guy achieve his dream. Okay, I can, but I want to understand that that's what I'm doing. I'm not buying his product because it's better, because it's a better deal, or even because it's even closer to my house. I'm just supporting him for the hell of it so that he can be happy, because he's going to do that long enough until he gets big enough that a corporation can come and buy him. It's what happened where I work now and where I worked a few years ago. They start a company in the garage. It's always the garage. They start out, they're running out of their garage. Because the store in the movie is like a mom and pop shop. It's not in the garage. But where I work now, they started in their garage and then they did this and then it grew and then blah, blah, blah. And then like 2 years ago, a corporation came and for $4.5 million bought the company that was started in that garage. That little local company and bought it. And now, except us employees, we didn't lose our job. We lost a lot of things that were cool about the job. We didn't lose the job though. And it happened in the vitamin place that I worked at before, where it's like, yeah, I started in the garage and they did it for 10 or 20 years and they put in all this work and they grew. Then somebody else came and they bought it like back in, I was like 2010 or so, they bought it for $60 million. I was like, well, what happened to the employees? Because, support your local businesses, yeah, but what about the employees? What about the people supporting it? They get fucked. The local business, like, fuck you. Support me so I can get rich. And once I get rich, I'm going to turn my fucking back on you. So I say, support what you're into. If it's local, if it's convenient, if Walmart's closer than the fucker down the street who has a family, say, hey man, I have a family too. I wish I could follow my dreams. We don't all get to follow our fucking dreams. Fuck off. But if you have cool shit, yeah, I'd rather buy your shirts than the shirts at Target. But sometimes, most of the time, Target's got cheaper shirts. So, I don't know, it's this weird like guilt thing, like supports this local person because he's doing it. It's like, yeah, well, fill a need. If you have a local business that fills a fucking need that you can't get somewhere else, then you'll get the support and you won't have to beg for customers. But I'm not arbitrarily buying a box of macaroni and cheese for $4 at your place instead of supporting Walmart because Walmart's a corporation and you're some guy with a pipe dream. Fuck you. That's not happening. Anyway, they're going to sell the store. They want all the kids that work there to stay all night and put the clickers on. This is back with the price. This is price gun days. The price gun days of the 80s and 90s. And they want everything marked half down. And the good news is, all the kids, they will be out of a job, but they will be getting bonus checks of an undisclosed amount. The kids aren't happy. The kids working there, they're kind of pissed off. And it's kind of funny because it's like, what? Were they planning to work there the rest of their lives? They're like, This is supposed to be like your high school summer job. You weren't supposed to stay there. This was like your stepping stone. This was like your money in between. Plus, these are like your kind of upper class type kids where it's like, yeah, you did that, so you had money while you work part time, so you go to school. But they're all like, they're kind of forward thinking. It's like, fuck, all that. I had 3 years of seniority, and now that's down to 2. So it's like, I had a couple weeks of vacation time coming up, and that's down to 2. It's like, are there no other jobs? I mean, if you've been there that long, you kind of got an edge on your competition when you're trying to apply somewhere else that might be hiring. It's not like you worked for a corporation. But Bill seems a little extra upset. He's the co-owner because he's the co-owner that didn't want to sell because his life is this grocery store. It actually means something. His pipe dream wasn't supposed to be bought by a corporation. His pipe dream wasn't to get a store that he could one day sell and retire off of. It was to work in a store. But he owned 49%. Danny's got 51%. So that 1% is the difference between selling and not selling. And he's pissed about it. He's heartbroken. And he didn't like doing that to those kids. Bill seems like an okay dude. At some point, Dave makes a move on Jennifer. You know, because she's on the rebound after a year. It's weird timing. I think maybe Dave has just realized, you know, it's like, well, I had all the time in the world, but now the store's closing down. You know, it's 1989. There's no Facebook. There's no blah, blah, blah. How am I going to stay in touch with this chick? So I better make my move. It's not the dumbest move. It's kind of dumb if you consider that her psychotic boyfriend that just got out of jail is outside lingering around. Possibly wandered his way back inside. Who knows? But, seems like a good idea. So he invites her. He's having a party. He's like, hey, if you want to come to my party, you can come. And she's like, yeah, I'm really in a party. He's like, well, we don't have to go to my party. We can meet somewhere else. So he basically is planning to have a party still and then ditch his party to hang out with her somewhere else. It's kind of weird. But that's what you do. That's what you do when you're in crush mode. Like crush, like I have a crush on you. Not like I'm gonna crush. So Linda grabs a few things. Linda's, you know, the other cashier. Kind of Jen's little buddy at the beginning. Linda's also played by Renee, almost said Springsteen. Renee Estevez, who, coincidentally, not so coincidentally, she's, I think she played Angela in Sleepaway Camp 3. 2 or 3, I'm pretty sure she played her. But Estevez, she is the sister. She actually is the sister of Emilio Estevez and Carlos Estevez, otherwise known as Charlie Sheen. And her career just never picked up the way theirs did. But yes, there are 3 of them, 2 boys and a girl. It's kind of funny because until like the old Tiger Milk, Charlie Sheen meltdown from like 2008 or 2009, I always assumed that Charlie Sheen was the older brother. And it turns out Emilio is older than Charlie. That seems weird to me. I don't know why. I also used to think Charlie looked more like Martin Sheen. But then I watched like Apocalypse Now and I was like, Martin Sheen looks exactly like Emilio. Interesting shit, huh? But being part of the Estevez Sheen family is not enough to save you from death, because when she leaves the store and goes to the car, she gets hacked with a butcher knife. First kill of the movie. And we're probably, I think it was over 30 minutes in. Jen's nose keeps bleeding from when Craig like punched her. Or whatever he did. But he keeps... It's weird because it keeps bleeding. Like, it makes you think, it's like, does she have some, like, secret coke problem? Triggered from that punch to the face? So she goes in the bathroom. While she's out there, Bill goes outside with a hammer. And he catches Craig outside. Craig's looking in the bathroom, watching Jen take care of her nose. Because that's a turn on. and he's like spying on her. I don't know if he's planning to break in or if he's just perving out, but Bill sees them, so they have another fight, which is kind of funny. But Bill is unable to hit him with the hammer. Craig knocks him out, and he fucking whacks Bill in the head, and knocks him out or kills him or whatever. But Bill is down. And if Craig was smart, he would have got the keys off of Bill. But I don't think he did. And he's like, I just knocked out the guy with the keys. Cool. Back to this window. I gotta figure out how I can get the screen off so I can pry the window open and go inside. It's like, hey man, the keys are right over there. Trying to figure out how to get the screen off the window so I can get the window open. Craig doesn't seem that bright. Linda's dead, so we know there's a killer. Craig hit Bill in the head with a hammer, so we know that we got a crazy dude, but we don't know. It's kind of a spoiler. This is like a baby spoiler. If you haven't watched this movie, turn this off, go watch the movie. Otherwise, I'm not responsible for what I reveal. But one we saw, like, we didn't see Craig kill Linda. We did see him get in a fight with Bill and whack him in the head, possibly killing him. So that's the difference in those deaths. And then, like, not too long later, upstairs, Danny's in his office, and the killer goes in there, and there's one of those, what do they call it? It's like, they call it like a receipt poker, you know, that like spiral thing that has that sharp thing that comes up and you like put receipts on. I don't even know if they do that anymore, but they used to. Is that an 80s thing? Where you just put the receipt on? They used to have them in restaurants. But he's got that, and the killer comes in and like grabs him by the head and like shoves that sharp part that's supposed to trap the papers, and it goes right through his eyeball. He's like, oh, and he falls on the floor. And presumably dead. It's assumed. It's like, oh shit. Now Danny's dead. That's 2 down in less than, like, movie time wise, that's like about 3.5 minutes. So I was like, oh shit. Body count is gonna start rising now. And then Joe, played by Ted Raimi, gets a butcher knife to the head. That's right, both Raimi brothers are in this movie. Even though this movie never got the attention that the Evil Dead movies got. But it's the 80s, man. Joe gets a butcher's knife to the head because he can't hear the killer because he's got his headphones on, proving that, I guess, yeah, it isn't safe to listen to headphones at work. Then Tim gets killed. Then Bub. It starts going pretty quick. Because I think between like 30 minutes and an hour, the kills are like boom, 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 boom. The kills all look good though. They're creative. There's a couple, I mean, like the butcher knife to the head is like, okay, that looked cool, but eh. And then like somebody, the first kill was like a stab to the stomach with a butcher knife. It's like, yeah. But the rest of the kills are like, it's like, oh, and the FX guy is Greg Nicotero, who went on, he did like the Stephen King, The Mist. He does the Walking Dead show. I mean, he's come along. He's done a lot of shit. The effects are fun because they're not CGI. So just seeing what somebody could do. There was like a weird, I don't know if it was a competition between effects people, you know, makeup artists or not, but it did seem like people were kind of trying to outdo each other. It's like, who's the best? Because like the better your effects get, like anytime they're gonna make a horror movie, which they did a lot of in the 80s, they're gonna be like, well, who do we want? We want Savini. So Nicotero can be like, well, look what I can do in a movie like this. Somebody checks it out. The deaths were pretty creative though. There was like 2 that were like, nah, the guy got killed, that's fine. But then there were some where it's like, oh. It's like, that really looked like, I don't know, it probably looked even realer, like if you're watching this movie when it's brand new and you didn't see half the shit you see now. Eventually, Jen discovers that everybody is dead. And that is the exact moment where she runs into Craig again. And she assumes Craig is behind it. And she has this weird little, like, claw thing And she stabs him with it, and then she makes a run for it. And she runs into Bill. And Bill kind of like stops and says, "Hey, what are you doing? Everything's okay." She's like, "Oh," and she kind of hugs him. And he's like, "Everything's gonna be fine. We're gonna go get that guy, blah, blah." And she's trusting, but then she like touches his back and feels his back is like kind of moist. And she looks at her hand, and her hand is red. Her hand's covered in blood because he has blood on his back. I don't know why he has blood on his back, but it's a giveaway that he's up to no good. Bill is not a good dude. He confesses to her that he is the killer. And his motive is the store. The store was his life. He didn't want to sell it. He put everything into that store, but he was 1% away from being able to decide if they should keep the store or not. And now he's pissed. And why he's taking it out on the coworkers, I'm not really sure. But he is. But he's got the perfect scapegoat. He's like, I'm going to kill all you guys, and then Craig is going to take the fall for it. She cracks him in the head and makes a run for it. He catches her. They go down an aisle, and then she cracks him in the head again, this time with a jar of wheat germ. She runs again, but it seems she's locked in the store. Somehow, from the inside of the store, she can't get outside of the store. But then she hears a voice saying, "Help me." And she looks, and she sees Danny's head. Danny's face. And she's like, in me, the viewer, I'm thinking, what, Danny's still alive? But then his head raises. And it's got a hand inside of it. It's good old Bill, like, "Help me," using it as a puppet. He's like, "Help me, help me." And laughing, because Bill has completely lost his shit. Apparently the store meant a fucking lot to him. Did Bill just get weird overnight? Like everybody, you got people working with Bill for like 3 years and nobody was ever like, "Yeah, Bill's kind of weird." Or when somebody probably, was it that much, was Craig that much of a red herring that nobody was ever like, as crazy as the guy that just got out of prison is for accidentally killing somebody? I think Bill might actually do some fucking shit. Keep your eye on that guy. It's like, yeah, we'll go look for the person. I'm not going to look with Bill, though, because Bill might fucking cut my head off. Use it for a puppet later. When she had run into Craig earlier, he mentioned that he got in through the bathroom window and they need to escape out the bathroom window because somehow Craig knows that they're locked inside. So that Craig is who knows where. She remembers his advice and she runs back to the bathroom. She escapes through the bathroom window. She gets out there and she's near a car. I think it's her car and she's trying to get in, but then she's close enough and somehow Bill's like everywhere. If you're outside, Bill's everywhere. You're safer inside because then it's like, well, Bill's way over there and then he has to come over here. That gives me time. But if you're outside, Bill can just pop up and be like, "Ah!" And that's what he does when she's trying to get in her car. He's under the car somehow and grabs her ankles, effortlessly pulls her from one side of the car, drags her down to the other side of the car. And it's like, but then she still has like a knife on her, so she stabs him in the stomach. And then out of nowhere, somehow Craig got to where he was hurt. And he must really love Jen at this point or just be the most empathetic, creepy psychopath ever to be like, "Well, of course you're going to stab me in the stomach. You think I'm an asshole. I understand that. I feel your pain." But somehow he had the presence of mind to be like, "Shit, I got to go help her. I must go to the bathroom, jump out the window, run to the parking lot." He gets there in no time at all. Oh, but first, after she had knocked Bill down, because she stabbed him, she runs to the payphone and starts trying to call the cops again. And then Bill comes back to life. And he's like, "Oh," and he pushes the phone booth over. And he's about to try and do something. And then that's when Craig comes out of nowhere, who somehow figured out, it's like, "Oh, I'm still alive. Cool. Oh, must save Jen. Oh, can't go out the front door. I gotta go out the bathroom." Goes all the way, finds the payphone. And then he just starts hacking the shit out of Bill. Till it looks like Bill's dead. And then suddenly the cops show up. And they immediately handcuff Craig and Jen and put them on the cop car. And then Bill comes back too. And he's like, They did it. They did it to both of them. They just attacked me. They killed everybody inside there. And the cops were like, yeah. And it kind of ends on that little, that like, dun, 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 dun. It's like, Bill fucking framed these guys. Now the cops are handcuffing them and say, yeah, there's more bodies inside. Go check it out. And then Bill's laughing to himself, trapped in that phone booth, dying, but knowing he'll be okay probably. Knowing he ain't going to jail. And he's like, yeah, those fuckers. And Jen and Craig are like, and Craig's got a rap sheet, so yeah. So we had two plot twists. We had Craig's the killer. Craig's not the killer. Bill's the killer. But now Craig is being framed by the killer back to being the killer that we thought he was from the beginning. Kind of a clever movie. Fun movie. Love it. It captures the late 80s completely. It looks like something I would have watched on cable in like middle school. Not scary, but fun. And a good throwback. It reminds me of the grocery store that I used to live down the street from. The Gilligan Award goes to Jennifer for dating Craig in the first place. Where did she even meet that guy? What did we learn? Survival tips! Don't walk to your car alone if you know there's a psycho on the premises. Don't try to hook up with the girl the psycho is trying to win back. Never leave the killer's body unattended unless you know he's dead. And even then, if you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe. Come on down to the Facebook page, give it a like, and it'll give you little updates on what's going on.